How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Bass Fishing Extreme. I'm Phillip, back in my fishing arsenal room. Trying to explain and break down yesterday's big catch. I know a lot of guys didn't have a lot of info early on that. It was super cold. Only had about an hour and a half or so to fish. So I had to really get after it. That fish was caught in a little over 12 foot of water. I had been keeping quite close an eye on them because I've been keeping a closer eye on the weather. This time of year in Arkansas, fish are the most finicky. I believe it's pretty hard to keep up with fish. They literally have 3 or 4 day warming period at night where that temperature is up 45, 55 degrees or so. Those fish start moving in. And they sense a lot of times before the weatherman ever mentions a front, a cold front, freeze, temperatures, anything. I can see them pushing back out. And when I know that, I can jump my eye on the weather and say, hey, what's the weather looking like? Well, lately we have, last night, low temperature was right at 31, I believe, 32. And we've got a couple of more rounds, believe it or not, of some temperatures around freezing. I hadn't even planted my tomatoes yet, to be honest. So anyway, the bait, of course, was a Brazilo. Bass jig mold. He hand molds them, and then I do my thing to them here, and I broke that down before. It was 5/16 ounce, had a pork rind on it. I flared the inside, cut those off the jig heads, and the tackle used, it's everything listed and labeled, was my bass jig rod. It's one of the best I've found, period. It is a Shimano Intensa 7'3". It says it's a heavy, fast action rod, and it's paired up with a Tatula 150. I like the 7-to-1 gear ratio only because it gives you more power, more horse, and that's what this rod right here is built for. Now it says it's a heavy, fast action, but I'm gonna tell you, it's more of a medium heavy, and that tip, to me, it's a true fast, but to most people, it would probably be a moderate to fast. I like a little light tip on my bass jig rod, believe it or not. Most people like a broom handle. Broom handle gets you in bad situations. And I'm explaining that fish catch yesterday because I see it happen so many times. It breaks me down to see guys come in and talk about how they lost a big one. And I would say probably 90% of that is your equipment tackle. There's no way yesterday I would have got that fish landed without good tackle. I know a lot of guys can't afford tackle like that or whatever. I mean, I really can't either. I choose to spend my money on it, that's all. But you've got alternatives and stuff, but you've got to be ready. I mean, a new knot's got to be tied. I mean, everything's got to be, there can't be no nicks in your line. Like you've got to be on top of your game. And what happened was, and this happens a lot, you've got a limb here. You cast over the limb, fishing your jig or your soft plastic or whatever you're fishing, right? And you drop it down in there. Well, it goes down. And a big bass, 99% of the time I see fishermen, they're sitting in deeper water than they're fishing in. So that big bass, when you throw it over that limb and it drops down there, he don't know you threw it over a limb. He's not trying to compensate for your line. So when you drop it over that limb, he grabs it, and where does the fish go, especially a big fish, when he grabs bait? He's headed out of that treetop to some deep open water, just in case it gets nasty. And he'll swim like this. Well, you already have thrown over one limb, and you've got to set the hook, keep that fish from moving inside another limb, going back up and over that limb. You've got to get his head turned and pull back over that limb, and with your line stretched and rubbing against that limb, and get his head up over there before the fight ever begins, or you're lost. And I couldn't have done that without tackle yesterday. I was using Sunline Shooter, 20-pound, straight fluorocarbon. Y'all know I'm a fluorocarbon freak. A lot of people say, well, don't you use Ray? Because it's too much. You can't have too strong a setup, and you'll lose more fish than you will with too soft a setup. Anyway, there's just some tips for you guys. Have the right equipment, tackle, and if you have the best you can, and make sure it's in pristine condition. Understand when you throw over that limb what you've got to do to get that fish out of there. If you're not close enough, where you're straight over, where you could pick, think about that before you make the cast, because you never know. Your next cast could be a 9-pounder. God bless y'all. Have a good day.